Hello students. Last class I discussed about candidate elimination algorithm. So today I will illustrate this algorithm. I'll explain by taking an example. That is, as I discussed already, the Enjoy Sport learning problem. So I'll explain this candidate elimination algorithm by taking the Enjoy Sport problem as an example. Now we can see in this figure. Here we can trace out the candidate elimination algorithm which is applied to the first two training examples. The same table I have considered here, that is the Enjoy Sport learning problem table. So from this table let us consider the two training example. Here I am going to apply the candidate elimination algorithm initially. Here the boundary sets that are first initialized to G0 and S0. So as you know, G and S are the boundary sets. So this is the most generalized boundary set, and S indicates the most specific set or the most specific hypothesis, right? So first let us initialize these two boundary set to G0 and S0. That is the most general and most specific hypothesis in H respectively. So here S0 is initialized with all the null values, that is pi symbol, and G0 is initialized with all question mark, that is what the general hypothesis, right? And the first training example is presented. The candidate elimination algorithm, it will check the boundary set S and finds that it is completely specific, where it pays to cover the positive example. Then the boundary set is revised by moving it to the least more general hypothesis, which will cover this positive example, right? This revised boundary is shown as S1, and no update with respect to the boundary set G, which is needed in response to this training example, because G0 correctly covers this positive example. So this is what the positive example you can see, that is sunny, warm, normal, strong, warm, same. So this is the positive example, right? Here the boundary set G, that is G0, will cover this particular example, that is a positive example. So this is with respect to the first training example, right? Then when the second training example is observed, this is also a positive example, right? So it has a similar effect of generalizing S further to S2, right? So this is what the second training example, which is again a positive training example here, that is sunny, warm, high, strong, warm, same. So when you take or when you consider this training example, which is a positive example, here the effect of generalizing S to S2, right? Earlier it was S1, now I am generalizing it to S2, right? And I will leave the boundary set G again as it is, that is unchanged, right? Here we can say that G0 is same as G1, which is same as G2, that is G0 equal to G1 is equal to G2. Here you can notice that the processing of these first two positive example is very similar to a processing which is performed by the Finders algorithm, right? I think this part is clear. That is processing of first two training examples, that is processing of first two positive examples, which is very much similar to the processing which is performed by Finders algorithm. Now as it is illustrated by the first two steps, right? The positive training examples will force the boundary set S of the version space to become increasingly general, right? The negative training example, which will play a complementary role here, which will force the boundary set G to become increasingly specific. Now consider the third training example, which is shown in this particular figure. The third training example is with the sunny, warm, question mark, strong, warm, and same. So this is what the third training example here. As you can see, this training example is a negative example, right? So this one is the third training example: rainy, cold, high, strong, warm, and change. So here it is a negative training example, right? So this negative training example reveal that the boundary set G of the version space is completely general. That is the hypothesis in G, which is incorrectly predict that this new example is a positive example. As here the boundary set G will incorrectly predict that this is a positive example, but actually it is a negative example, right? The hypothesis in G boundary set therefore be specialized until it correctly classifies this new negative example, and hence we need to specialize this G until it is going to classify it correctly, means it is going to predict this training example correctly. That is clearly shown in this particular figure. Here there are several alternative minimally more specific hypotheses, right? And all of these become the members of the new boundary set, that is G tree. Now given that there are 6 attributes which could be specified to specialize G2, and why are they only 3 new hypotheses in G3? So this question may arise here, why there are only 3 new hypotheses in G3? As you can see, there are only 3 hypotheses in G3. So you may ask this question, why there are only 3 hypotheses in G3, right? For example, the hypothesis H equal to question mark, normal, question mark is a minimal specialization of G2 that correctly labels the new examples as a negative example, but it is not included in G3, right? The reason is this hypothesis is excluded, that means the reason for excluding this hypothesis is that it is inconsistent with the previously encountered positive examples. That's why we are excluding this hypothesis, that is question mark, normal, question mark. As you can see, this particular hypothesis is not included in G3 because it is inconsistent. It is inconsistent with the previously encountered positive example. That's why I am not including them in this G3. That's why you can see there are only 3 hypotheses in G3 which are more consistent with the previously encountered positive examples, or which are very consistent with the version space, you can say. Here the algorithm will determine this simply by noting that H is not more general than the correct specific boundary, that is S2. In fact, the boundary, that is S, this S boundary of the version space will form a summary of previously encountered positive examples that can be used to determine whether any given hypothesis is consistent with these positive examples. So any hypothesis which is more general than S by definition, that will cover any example that S covers, and thus will cover any past positive example. Means any hypothesis which is more general than S, by default it will cover any past positive example. So in a dual fashion, the G boundary summarizes the information from the previously encountered negative examples. Here any hypothesis which is more specific than G is assured to be that it is consistent with past negative examples. So this you have to note. Means any hypothesis which is more specific than G, it will assure that it is consistent with the past negative examples. So this is true because any such hypothesis by definition cannot cover the examples that G does not cover. Next, the fourth training example consider, right? So here the fourth training example further generalizes a S boundary of the version space. It also results in removing one member of a G boundary because this member pays to cover the new positive example. So this last action result from the first step under the condition that if small d is a positive example, right? So in the candidate elimination algorithm, to understand the rational level of means to understand this step, it is useful to consider why the hypothesis must be removed from capital G. Here you can notice that it cannot be specialized because specializing it would not make it cover the new example. It also cannot be generalized because by the definition of capital G, any more general hypothesis will cover at least one negative training example. Therefore, the hypothesis must be dropped from boundary G. Therefore, removing an entire branch of partial ordering from the version space of hypothesis remaining under consideration. Now we got the answer why there are only new hypothesis, that is only 3 new hypotheses in G3. We are completely removing the hypotheses which are not consistent or which are inconsistent with the positive examples. So after processing these 4 examples, means after processing these 4 training examples, right? The boundary set S4 and G4 will delimit the version space of all hypotheses which are consistent with the set of incrementally observed training examples. Here, the entire version space, including those hypotheses which are bounded by S4 and G4, which are shown in this particular figure, right? So this learned version space is independent of the sequence in which the training examples are presented. As further training data is encountered, the boundaries, that is S and G, will move monotonically closer to each other, which will delimit a smaller and smaller version space of the candidate hypothesis. So this is how the candidate elimination algorithm works. It will completely remove or it will eliminate the hypothesis which is inconsistent with the positive training examples. I hope this example is clear. So this is just an illustration of candidate elimination algorithm by taking Enjoy Sport learning problem as an example. So next important concept is the inductive bias, right? So as we discussed earlier, the candidate elimination algorithm will converge toward the true target concept which is provided. So here it will give the accurate training examples and provided its initial hypothesis space contain only the target concept, right? Here, what if the target concept is not contained in the hypothesis space? So this question may arise here. What if the target concept is not contained in the hypothesis space? So can we avoid this difficulty by using a hypothesis space which will include every possible hypothesis? So these are what some questions which may arise normally. So first one is, what if the target concept is not contained in the hypothesis space? Second one is, can we avoid this difficulty by using the hypothesis space that include every possible hypothesis? Third one is, how does the size of this hypothesis space influence the ability of algorithm to generalize to unobserved instances? The next one is, how does the size of hypothesis space influence the number of training examples that must be observed? Then these are what some of the fundamental questions for the inductive inference in general. Here we will examine them in the context of a candidate elimination algorithm. As we will see, them through some conclusions that we draw from this analysis, which will apply to any concept learning system that will output any hypothesis consistent with the training data. So this is what is about the inductive bias. The next is a biased hypothesis space, or effect of the incomplete hypothesis space, right? Here, suppose we wish to assure that the hypothesis space contains unknown target concept. Then the obvious solution is to enrich the hypothesis space to include every possible hypothesis. To illustrate this, again consider the Enjoy Sport example, in which we restricted the hypothesis space to include only the conjunctions of the attribute values. Because of this restriction, the hypothesis space is unable to represent every simple disjunctive target concept, such as sky equal to sunny or sky equal to cloudy. In fact, the given following three training examples of this disjunctive hypothesis, our algorithm would find there are 0 hypotheses in the version space. So here you can see these 3 hypotheses, right? And the outcome is also given. This is what the outcome of Enjoy Sport learning problem, that is yes, yes, no. So for each training example, I have specified the outcome of Enjoy Sport, that is yes, yes, no. To see why there are no hypotheses which are consistent with these 3 examples, here you can note that the most specific hypothesis consistent with the first 2 examples and representable in the given hypothesis space H is, that is S equal to a question mark, warm, normal, strong, cool, change. So this hypothesis, although it is a maximally specific hypothesis from capital H, that is consistent with the first 2 examples, which is already general. It is completely general, right? So it incorrectly covers the third training example, that is the third one is the negative training example, as you can see. Here the problem is that we have biased the learner to consider only the conjunctive hypothesis. In this case, we require a more expressive hypothesis space. That is what the conclusion is, right? Next is an unbiased learner, right? The obvious solution to the problem of assuring that the target concept is in the hypothesis space H is to provide a hypothesis space which is capable of representing every teaching concept. That is, it is capable of representing every possible subset of the instances capital X. In general, the set of all subsets of a set capital X is called as the power set of capital X. In the Enjoy Sport learning task, for example, the size of the instance space capital X of the days described by the 6 available attributes is 96. So how many possible concepts can be defined over this set of instances? In other words, how large the power set of capital X is. In general, the number of distinct subsets can be defined over a set of X which is containing X elements. Suppose consider containing X elements, right? That is size of power set of X. Here mod of X is nothing but the size of power set of X, that is 2 raised to X. It is 2 raised to X, right? So as I told, there are 96 attributes, right? So there are 2 raised to 96 or approximately 10 raised to 28 distinct target concepts could be defined over this instance space, and our learner might be called upon to learn. So if there are 96 attributes, then we can expect power set of 2, that is a 2 raised to 96 possible hypothesis in a full space of capital H. So here our conjective hypothesis space is able to represent 973 of these very biased hypothesis space. Now let us reformulate the enjoy sport learning task in an unbiased way by defining a new hypothesis space H dash that can represent every subset of instances, that is H dash correspond to the power set of capital X. One way to define such an H dash is to allow arbitrary disjunction, conjunction and negations of our earlier hypothesis. For instance, the target concept sky equal to sunny or sky equal to cloud could be described as sunny question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark conjunction. This is what the conjunction is. Conjunction with cloudy question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark. So given this hypothesis space, we can safely use the candidate elimination algorithm without worrying that the target concept might not be expressible. So however, while this hypothesis space eliminate any problem of expressibility, it unfortunately raises a new equally difficult problem. But our concept learning algorithm is now completely unable to generalize beyond the observed examples. This is what is about the unbiased learner. Two concepts are remaining, so that I'll discuss in next class. So this completes about your module 1. So in the next class I'll explain these two concepts, then I'll introduce the module 2. Thank you.